everyone, this is Eli G. Brown / Eli G. Brony here with some more Bionicle MOCs. These are Turaga Jovan to the left and Turaga Lhikan to the right. Now, you probably are wondering, why did I decide to bring these characters here? Well, I will tell you. You see, some fans probably do not know this, but in the Bionicle universe, well, in the Matoran universe anyway, a being can be revived on the red star if their body is still intact. Such as if the body does not dissolve or get destroyed or anything. It just remains intact, like if the person just died and that's it. Nothing else happens to the body. If that is the case, then the character can actually be revived on the red star. But unfortunately, because of some malfunctions on the red star caused by Gaudius, the combination of the Bionicle Stars characters, there were a lot of characters that were revived on the red star but got trapped there and could not return to the Matoran universe. Now I do plan that at some point they will actually get that fixed and that all the revived beings will be able to go on to Sirius Magna and rejoin with all of their friends. That probably will be kind of a shocker for them to find out that their characters who were thought to be dead are alive. Well, they were dead, but they were brought back to life. So, here we have Turaga Jovan and Turaga Lhikan. Now the reason why I'm reviewing them both together in this one video is because, well, they are both alike, well, mostly anyway, and there really is nothing to each one of them. They're just built using the style of Turaga Duma's body, which uses a 2004 Matoran body piece with Borak legs and the Pohatu arms. Now, of course, Turaga Duma did not have the Pohatu arms, but I decided to add them in here anyway. So, I'm going to look at them each individually at the moment. Here is Turaga Jovan. Now, a number of people may recognize Jovan as being the Toa of magnetism, but of course sometime he decided to sacrifice his power and he became a Turaga. So he is a Turaga of magnetism. So what I've got is, well, I used a silver main body piece with silver feet and silver hands and black arms and legs. Now of course you probably are wondering, how did you get the New Peru mask or head onto the body? Well, it really wasn't that hard actually. This is how I did it. I just took one of those pieces right there, and then one of the 3 long size pieces, and then attached with the 2 axle holes in the head, and just attached it to the second point. If I put it on the first joint, it would just kind of, well, I'll show you. Just would be too close to the body, and I just really did not like that, so put it on the second one to have that work. And I also used a Lhikan staff. I'm not sure if that's the type of staff that Jovan would have had, but it's the one I'm using. Okay. So that is Turaga Jovan, and before you ask, I have no plans on reviewing him as a Toa, because I've used up a lot of the parts that I would need to build Toa Jovan, and since he became a Turaga, there would be no point in building him, because after I would be done with the review, I would just take him apart, because I do not keep characters around if they are in forms that they no longer exist in. Okay, so that is Turaga Jovan. Now let's move on over to Turaga Lhikan. Now, some of you probably have seen my review on the Gold Good Guy set. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. And I mentioned that I was going to make a better Turaga Lhikan. I almost said Turaga Duma, but this isn't Duma, this is Lhikan. And yes, forget. Okay. So, actually with this one, you probably noticed that the pins that I use are the black ones instead of the blue ones. I decided to do that because, well, for one thing, I need to use those black pins for something. Can't just neglect them just because they're not in a modern color. And also by the fact that I wanted him to stick to the original color scheme of Lhikan. However, there are some issues that I have with this one. I did want to have the feet be in yellow or gold, just like with the original Toa Lhikan. But the problem with that is that these Borak feet do not exist in yellow or gold. And since those are retired parts, it's not likely we're ever going to get such parts like that. I know, I probably could spray paint them, but I didn't want to do that this time. And I know you probably would say, well, you could have used the Telemetro feet or the Hero Factory Hero feet. Well, they'd be too big. And I wanted to use these types of feet. Maybe I'll switch over to using the Telemetro feet sometime in the future, but for now, this is what I'm doing. And a number of you are probably saying, wait a minute, that isn't Lhikan's mask, that's Jala's mask. And I think you may need a refresher for that. If you've seen Legends of Metru Nui, you probably know that after the Matoran were brought to Mata Nui and were awakened by the Toa Metru, who then became Turaga, Jala's mask, which was a red Komau, the same mask that Anawa wears as a Turaga, had broken during the transportation. So, Vakama decided to give Jala Lhikan's mask. Now, of course, it doesn't look the same as Lhikan's mask, but it is, in fact, also Lhikan's mask. They probably used a different mold of Lhikan's mask when they released Toa Lhikan, so that the fans would not be able to figure out until seeing the movie that Lhikan's mask eventually became Jala's mask. Now, I know you are wondering, how come Lhikan has the mask on now? Well, I think I could maybe make a little story about that, such as maybe after the destruction of the Matoran universe, Lhikan's mask somehow managed to survive and escape from the Matoran universe. I am aware of its location the last time we saw the storyline, and it somehow landed, if you've watched Chris Mast and the Blizzard of Eternal Winter. If you haven't yet, I would recommend you check that out right now, or after you finish watching the video. And I've noticed that, well, if you haven't seen it, I'd be giving spoilers, so, well, anyway. And then, somehow, Lhikan gets his Hal back after he escapes from the Red Star. Now, I was going to use a black, head, but I needed that black head for something else. I'll tell you what it is when we get to there. So I used the gray one instead, even though there are no other gray parts on this character, which I usually try to avoid doing, such as when I make a character. I try to avoid using a piece of one color on a model when there is no other piece with that color. And I also know what you're thinking. I probably could have used these arms and legs in the gray color. Well, they are not available in the new gray, only in the old gray. And I used a Kurak staff for this one. Probably not the same one as Lhikan's staff, or the same one used on Gold Good Guy. But that's that. So, I think I have discussed everything that I need to about these guys. And, of course, I will bring out more videos as time comes. So, thank you very much for watching, and Merry Christmas!